She's putting on her neck brace. We're about to have a good time. Maybe he puts on a cowboy hat and he's like, she's got the neck brace and I've got the cowboy hat, and we're having fun and turn it into some fun, healthy role playing. Hey everybody, welcome to Friends with Ehlers-Danlos. My name is Melissa, and today we're going to talk about a really important topic, and that is how to keep your sex life when you are dealing with chronic illness and chronic pain. It may seem like this is something that you used to enjoy or used to be a part of your life, but I am here to tell you, friends, you can still have a healthy, fun, and positive sex life with your partner. So stick around, and I'm going to give you guys lots of tips and lots of information that I promise you've never heard before. So let's jump right in. Okay, so let's start with a couple simple basics that are really going to help. The first thing is remove any pressure you have mentally put on yourself that probably isn't real at all. Lovemaking or being intimate with somebody is not about putting on some stellar performance. You are not entering the sex Olympics. This isn't being filmed. This is just you and your lover or your partner or your spouse enjoying some private intimacy together and giving each other pleasure. That's what it's about. So you can ease your way into this by doing massage first, or going into like soft kisses, or maybe a little bit of foreplay. Just know that there's no need to add some unnecessary pressure that you need to do some high glamorous performance here. This is just about you two, and it's genuine and it's authentic. And that leads me right into the next point, which is give yourself permission. When we have these chronic illnesses and we're in chronic pain, we're always on like the super high alert. We're like, oh, what was that? What? Oh, did I feel a pain? Oh, better watch that. What was that one? Your brain's so over responsive and so overreactive to every single little thing that your body flares up. Just take a break. Mentally step in and say, I'm going to take a break right now. I'm going to allow myself to feel all of this pleasure. Time it if you need to for the next 30 minutes, the next hour, the next 2 hours. I'm going to give myself all this permission to feel really, really good. And watch and see how your body responds to that. I bet it will surprise you. This one is really important, and I found that it has actually been helpful in all kinds of areas of my life, and that is modification. We don't want to walk this earth saying we can't do things, but we feel like that, right? Because we have this chronic illness, we have this chronic pain, and it's really taking control. It's taken over everything. And just like this past weekend, I was out on my friend's boat, everybody was snorkeling, and I'm thinking, I can't snorkel. You're going to be lifting your head constantly, and I have CCI, and that's going to ruin my neck, and I'm going to be in so much pain tomorrow if I do this. I'm not going to do it. And all of a sudden, I had this thought. They had this little square raft. It was probably like a lifesaver type of thing. And I thought, if I lay on that on my stomach, then I'm really supported, and then there'll be less pressure on my neck. I did it and it worked. So modify things in the bedroom. Grab those pillows. Find your lazy sex positions. That's a big one, ladies. Get lazy. It's fine. You're just trying to feel good. He will figure out how to feel good, or she will figure out how to feel good. Just do you, and figure out together how you can be really comfortable, and you can modify some particular things with a few props and still have a really nice time. Another key component to having a really healthy sex life is going to be communication. And I know this is a really tough one for a lot of people, but you're going to have to tap into that vulnerable area. You're going to have to feel okay about it. This is part of a healthy relationship anyways. You're going to need to give some full disclosure. They're going to need to know what is going on in your chronic illness. They can't show up for you and truly care for you if they're in the dark about a bunch of stuff. So full disclosure, let them know what your challenges are. And that way you guys can figure out together and communicate what's going to work. Like if he loves that one position and that position's really challenging for you and you can only do it for like 2 minutes and then it really hurts, let him know. And maybe he says, great, we can skip it. Or maybe he says, great, can we do it for a minute? And have fun and relax and start to figure out how you guys are going to be able to communicate your way through your super healthy sex life. All right, so I know some of you are already thinking in your heads, I just have too many symptoms, Melissa. There's just too many symptoms. I can't do this. And what am I going to do? And what if my crampy leg just starts to cramp up again, or that horrible pain in my side starts to show up, or my neck starts to flare, and all of these things. Okay, I hear you. There's lots of stuff that we're going to do to get you ready for sex. So let's talk about what some of those things are. Okay, before we jump in and I tell you all about some extra little things that you guys can do, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of Friends with Ehlers-Danlos. And if you've been watching this far, please, please, please subscribe, like, comment, do all the things if you have not done them yet. I am really trying to grow in this community of people that have Ehlers-Danlos and chronic illnesses and get this information out to them so that everybody is being supported on their healing journey. My goal is to eventually start a group where we come together and we have counseling and we have therapy, and we are an awesome support group with lots and lots of resources. So help me achieve this goal by pushing me through that algorithm. All right, let's get to it. Okay, here are a few tips to make sure that you are going to be ready to go in the bedroom. Consider taking some type of medication that you've been taking or that your doctor approves of that you know would be helpful a little bit in advance. If you need those muscles to relax a little bit and you have a muscle relaxer, go ahead and take it. If you need something a little more mild, like a Tylenol or an ibuprofen, maybe that's something that you can take before you get going. For me, I have POTS. So I was, going about my normal sex life, and then all of a sudden one time I'm having sex, I'm on top, I'm reaching climax, and afterwards I, no joke, thought I was having a heart attack and I was dying. My heart was exploding out of my chest and the pain was so intense. My poor husband didn't know what to do. He was looking at me like, well, you never responded this way. Was it that good? No. Don't flatter yourself here. I found out I have a chronic illness and that's not the problem. So for me, I'm doing a lot of salt intake. So if you have POTS, consider that. Salt intake, hydrate before you go in, and don't turn sex into some sort of aerobic exercise. If you notice that you have these types of symptoms that I'm explaining, be more gentle and be more soft with yourself and be a little bit more careful about how much you are elevating that heart rate. I know this sounds like it cannot be done and it sounds really ridiculous, but I promise you, I have mastered it. I can get going. I can get there, right? That's important, ladies. I can get there, but my heart isn't pounding out of my chest anymore and I don't feel like I'm dying, because trust me, that happens to you enough times. You will basically be like, I'm good. I'm not having sex. Reaching orgasm isn't for me anymore, because look at what happens afterwards. I'm paying the price, like a major consequence. So just consider slowing it down to where you know that you aren't bringing your heart rate into the red zone, and you've done a lot of salt intake. And if you have that heart medication, make sure you take it that day. And then notice if you feel a lot better and a lot more satisfied when you're done. In the beginning of the video, I also talked to you guys about modification. So modification is still super important when we are in the bedroom. And I'm going to give an example of that now. My good friend has a really severe case of CCI, and when she is getting ready to be intimate with her spouse, she puts on a neck brace. And he's kind of excited now when he sees the neck brace. He's like, woohoo, I'll get lucky. And they've kind of turned it into something really fun instead of having it look like something really depressing. And it's really beautiful that they've been able to take control of that mindset and say, she's putting on her neck brace, we're about to have a good time. Maybe he puts on a cowboy hat and he's like, she's got the neck brace and I've got the cowboy hat, and we're having fun, and turn it into some fun, healthy role playing. But she needs that neck brace. She also can never really be on top. She's told me she's got to lay flat pretty much the whole time, but they've figured out a way to make it work and everyone's happy. So just food for thought. You are not alone out there. If you're making sacrifices and modifications in the bedroom, other people are doing it too. And my last tip that I'll share for getting creative in the bedroom is, any of you ladies out there have endometriosis? I do. I don't have a severe case, but I definitely have it. And my mother and my cousin have a very severe case. And as we know with endometriosis, one of the common issues with it is that you experience painful sex. So endometriosis, even after having childbirth, right, we can experience all of a sudden very painful sex. And there may be positions that we used to enjoy or we could happily tolerate that now are almost intolerable. And sometimes just when you're in the mood and you guys are having fun and he changes positions, you might notice, oh my gosh, that really hurts. And screaming out, ouch, in the middle of lovemaking is the number one way to just like kill the mood, right? I mean, now you've gone from this is fun and loving and exciting and feels great to this is painful, I don't like it, and you've done something that's hurt me. And especially for the male ego, that is going to make their excitement fall down. So here's what I suggest. This is really fun. And this goes back to that communication I was talking about. Communicate with your partner. Let them know, hey, sometimes when we're having fun, you get in a position that I all of a sudden feel is really uncomfortable. And instead of screaming out, ouch, I'm going to have a really fun word. Some people have safe words. We have fun words. Maybe you say, oh, banana split. And then he knows like it's not feeling good. So you guys are laughing and smiling about it, but he's not getting offended. And then he just knows like maybe he's going to go to like a safe position that he knows that you really like, or something of that nature. So just food for thought. Think about choosing a fun food or get creative and choose another funny word that you both will really laugh about, and you'll feel good, and it will just enhance all the lovemaking that you're having. So as you can see, friends, if you are struggling in the bedroom due to your chronic illness or your chronic health conditions, you are not alone. There are other people out there just like you who are trying to figure it out. We just don't really talk about it. So I'm glad that I could make this video today and share that with you. And on that note, I just also want to say that your partner should be very supportive in listening to you and your needs and your wants in the bedroom due to your special circumstances. And if they're not, maybe consider couples counseling or couples therapy. It is very important that they can get on your page and they can understand where you're coming from, and that you guys can create more of a healthy sex life. If they're refusing to get on this page, maybe they're not the right person for you. It is never okay for someone to guilt you or manipulate you in the bedroom to get the type of sex that they want. That is just absolutely unacceptable. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It's been awesome hanging out with you and talking about the taboo subject of sex, but it's super important. And if you guys have not subscribed, liked, or commented on this channel yet, please, please, please do so. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to make my next video for you guys. Have a great day.